Greetings, this is Paul, your Pacific Northwest trail guide. I want to help you pick your next trail to explore, so let's check this one out. Table Rock is a remarkable remnant of an old lava flow that sits in the middle of a small wilderness area named after it. It is surrounded by actively harvested forest land, but this little island of wilderness offers a unique hike to the top of Table Rock and the distant views it affords. The whole hike is a little over 7 miles round trip and has a lot of ascending as you make your way up to almost 5,000 feet of elevation at its top. This trailhead is managed by BLM and there is no parking pass required there. Although most of the trail is through a sheltered forest area, there is a stretch through an exposed boulder field as well as a long stretch of the trail at the top of Table Rock that is also exposed. There are a variety of berries available for foraging along this trail in the summer. Mostly thimbleberry, but some salmonberry and huckleberries also. Heading out southeast of Molalla, Oregon, you'll find your way to the Molalla River Corridor recreation area, which is where you can get to the trailhead from. You'll meander along the old Molalla Forest Road, which follows along the Molalla River, passing many campgrounds and swimming holes, and even a decent mountain biking trail complex at Hardy Ridge. After about 15 miles on this road, you veer left onto Table Rock Road, where you transition to gravel. A BLM sign for Table Rock can be seen on a tree at this fork. After following this gravel road for about 2.5 miles, you reach this junction with another gravel forest road and turn right. A little yellow sign with Table Rock on it marks this junction. Another few miles up this road dead ends at the trailhead. Our hike will start off with over a mile on what used to be a continuation of the road we came in on, but then it turns up into the original trailhead location and we head more sharply up towards Table Rock. Our path goes all the way around Table Rock to the south side to ascend up a couple long switchbacks to the top of it. After passing the vault toilet, you get going on what is getting to look less and less like a road nowadays. Very soon you approach the reason for this, which is a landslide that took out the road in the 90s. The trail veers off into the woods here for a bit to go around this section, where the former road is washed away, now erased by time. After this little diversion, you're joined back up to the old road. As you go along, the trail also frequently dips down to traverse the many areas of runoff that are washing away the roadbed at various points as well. Finally, the trail turns into the forest once again, this time to get going up to the actual original trail. Up the hill a little bit, you approach the junction with the Image Creek Trail coming in from the right, and we head up to the left. You get a little peek out to the hills to the north before the trail turns south and starts climbing more. A little flat spot here offers a short spur where you can view a smaller lava formation you are about to ascend up to. You might consider it Table Rock's baby brother. The trail continues on, and eventually you come up alongside the towering rock as the trail comes around to it. This little junction offers a spur trail you can take to have a little scramble up to the top of Table Rock's little brother. If you're eager to get on top of something, you might check it out. Afterwards, the trail continues on towards Table Rock. At last, the trail comes out into this exposed boulder field along the north side of the Table Rock and its tall, sheer cliffs of columnar basalt. Follow the trail as it heads west along the cliffs, first through the open area, then through thickets of berry bushes. The strange contrast of the hard rock face and bright wildflowers and berries below it make this a great time to be here. After you pass through the thickest area of bushes and delicious berries, the trail heads back into the forest, rounding around to head back to the gradual slope on the south side of the rock. Eventually you reach this junction with the saddle trail, which heads off to Rooster Rock in the south. A helpful rock arrow in the ground points you off to the left, away from the saddle trail, to continue up to Table Rock. From here, we just have 2 long switchbacks to complete before we come out onto the last stretch. When you start getting close, you might see this view of Rooster Rock through the trees and some juniper growing. Finally, you peek out onto the ridge and get a taste of the view. But the trail dives back in a little bit to bring you up and around a little higher. When you come back out, the exposed trail stretches out along the east cliff of Table Rock. Follow it along to the highest point of Table Rock on the north side. Mount Hood and Mount Jefferson are the most prominent peaks in the view, but if the day is clear enough, you can see many more in the distance. Exploring around here at the top, you'll find a survey marker and a couple of small campsites. There are also several little shady spots hidden along the cliff edge, so take your time and find that perfect viewpoint to chill at. When you're done hanging out with the bumblebees and butterflies, we head back the way we came. Assuming you aren't taking a little side trip down to Rooster Rock on the way, the next section of the hike just takes us back to the trailhead. Goodbye, Mount Jefferson. Oh, and you too, Rooster Rock. Back at the Saddle Trail Junction, we head right and are soon making our way back around the cliffs of Table Rock and leaving it behind. Pass by familiar spur trails and trail junctions, available to explore if you didn't before. This former road is barely recognizable now, but still creates a sort of artificial sunny corridor of exposure where wildflowers flourish. Had it not been here, this strip would just be more shady woods. Only the long, gentle descent down and around the hillside remains of this hike to Table Rock. It's time to go over the ratings for this hike. The terrain rates 2 out of 5. There aren't specially challenging obstacles, but you will run into some steep loose scree on the trail in the boulder field stretch. And you need to be mindful of falling danger where the trail approaches cliff edges. Consider the areas of exposure for elements and also the elevation. You're likely to run into snow if you come up here in the spring or even early in the summer maybe. Length and climb I rate it both at 3. It's on the high end of average in numbers, but the ascent is well spread out. That's all for this edition of Pacific Northwest Trail Guide. I scouted this trail in July of 2025, but trails are always evolving. If you pick this trail and encounter any changes people might like to know about, Please help out your fellow explorers by sharing in the comments on this video. A picture may be worth 1,000 words, but an experience with all of your senses cannot even be conveyed in pictures or video. So don't take my word for it. Get out there and see it for yourself.